Amandla, can we start? Where is Comrade Boyzin? You can start with your commission. Did you hand over the memory stick there? Which one is? Okay. Okay, let us take the commission that was dealing with the political report. In the meantime, can we be in one Congress and each local secretary or chairperson just get outside and get the delegation, because we are already late in terms of our schedule, in terms of the program. You can come.
Thank you, Chairperson. Can we all get seated? We are sorry for the delay because we were supposed to be the first commission to present. Our apologies due to the technological resources. That was the cause. We are going to deal with the Human Rights Day. The noting Human Rights Day does not reflect our history. This fact is true because our history is getting lost and generation with the knowledge is getting old and departing. If we stick to human rights, it's actually we are trying to rewrite the history again. Therefore, the momentum of the day, the events of the day, it will be lost to the young generation that are coming up. So it will even be difficult for us to explain to them what is human rights if we don't stick to Sharpeville massacre or Sharpeville Langa Day. Hence, we foresee that it is our constitutional right to claim to stick to the original of the events of the day. So our belief, as it has been indicated on the screen, is that there was overcompensation on the conciliation project by naming this day human rights. Global elite dictate to us on how our history should be look like. So for them to utilize human rights, they took the ideology of Utata to say we must forgive. Hence, they come up with the words, the name human rights, so that it accommodates everyone who is in South Africa. As the Constitution and the Freedom Charter say, South Africa belongs to everyone who lives in it. Now, in order to resolve this mess, this holiday name should be changed to Sharpeville Langa Day so that the next generation can correctly understand our history and must stop rewriting our history, as this creates a serious confusion to the whole nation. On the issue of, and this issue, it is in line with the report of the Congress of the day. So it is not the matter that we just came up with. Transformation of the judiciary. Before I narrate on the screen, I just have a short note here, of which is part and parcel of what is I'm about to present. The thing is, the reason why it's not on the slides there is because of the difficulties that we faced. We say transformation is the limits of transformation are considered from a legal point of view, which is, it is clear that the theme of transformation has penetrated South African law. The view suggests that lawyers' interest in maintaining the Constitution demands of reasonable balance should seriously contemplate the limitation that the law imposes on this pliable and ideological compromised notion. Now, a review of legislation reveals a disconcerting picture of interdetermining brought about the systematic but most unannounced translation. So the judicial use of the concept sometimes it is in its intellectualized form, and it also sometimes in a disguised or openly dogmatic fashion, hence not contributed much to remove the uncertainty, because clear and objective reference to its full constitutional meaning is largely absent. Now, we have indicated that in terms of noting, there are elements of racism in the judiciary. Hence, we find ourselves, we have three spheres of law in South Africa. Why I'm saying this? We have the Constitution, we have courts, and then we have AfriForum. So what the justice system prevail, the AfriForum come against it. So we will never have a balanced and quiet judicial system in our country if we don't address that now. So if we fail in future, this country will never have a light to go forward. All right. Resolve. Legislation into the appointment of judges should be changed and locate to Controller. Sorry for that. Legislation into the appointment of judges should be changed and locate the power to appoint the panel. As I've said, our reasoning is that transformation, appropriately construed, should be, actually should not be a problematic, but the indeterminate manner in which it is being utilized, especially in law, in a manner that contaminate by ideology and supported by the Constitution tends to neutralize the rule of law. So what we are trying to say is that if we don't respect our Constitution, what we have agreed upon, and then somebody from nowhere come in our house and then try to change the principle that we agreed upon. So in other ways, that particular house, it doesn't have the rules. So what I'm trying to say is South Africa, it doesn't have that bold confidence enough to say, this is what we agreed upon, so we cannot deviate from. So as long as we don't live by that principle, we will always encounter this kind of problems that we are facing when it comes to judiciary. And again, we must get rid of a judicial system going on holiday starting from September. Others starting from September, others starting from, I think it's the 7th of December. Judiciary, it's closed. So, and they return late the following year. So that also has to be corrected, because that's why we sometimes, the police have maintained their job correctly. The NPA also have maintained their job correctly. But now, when it reached to at the Justice Department, which is the magistrate courts, because of the piles of the dockets, they are just pushing the dockets to go away. So because of what? They don't have enough time. Sometimes other cases are not being attended to. So in order to get rid of that kind of behavior, this is what we have to emphasize, so that we have the judicial system that is up and running and up to date all the time. And every stakeholders, it's free for them to access the service from there. State-owned enterprises. Colleagues, there is a serious problem when it comes to corruption and tender awarding. And also, government wants to privatize the SOEs. What we believe is that there is a problem of elite, the global elites that are influencing the decision of the state-owned enterprise to be privatized for their own individual gains, because they foresee that our constitution and some of the policies, specifically when it comes to international trade, there are lots of gaps, and our constitution is very lenient, too much, of which it has to be revisited. For us to amend the constitution, we have to first revisit the Freedom Charter, because the Freedom Charter is the one that is feeding the constitution. So for us to get everything in order, that's what we have to do. Now, there is a simple mechanism that the state can utilize when it comes to tendering, because tendering, it is one of the red flags that is increasing or inviting corruption to take place. So what we say in terms of this issue, we say no privatization of the state-owned enterprise. The problem is the people that are entrusted on those portfolio, sometimes their skills are irrelevant on the portfolio that they are holding. That is why it is difficult for them to handle the issues of that particular, the SOEs that are being entrusted with. So when it comes to the recruitment process, the people that are handling that panel, they have to be people that are well matured and expert in that fashion to be the one that are conducting the interview panels for those people. So it should not be something that is shuffling. No, it should not be like that, because those are the contributing factors why we foresee this kind of problems. In terms of corruption, as one of the vital issues that are a little bit concerned to us, in terms of the noting is that between 2007, if I'm correct, there was, it's 2007. There were a group of people or personnel that were trained. And when they were supposed to start doing the job, they were reshuffled. So that particular project never materialized. Fortunately enough, in 2013, I was fortunate enough to be one of the people that are trained into anti-corruption, fraud and anti-corruption training for practitioners. Now, this Minister of Public Service Administration, by then it was Honorable Lindiwe Sisulu, she actually emphasized Cape Town and Pretoria, where the premises were identified. After this particular government officials have conducted the training so that they can go and operate from there, it was going to be operating as in a fashion like a call center. So after this particular honorable minister have conducted this particular training, what happened is that our former president, because by then he was still in good relationship with the Guptas, then he had to reshuffle the minister. So hence, we are still encountering the problem of... thank you.
Phumelela, is it a point of order?
Be invited to talk to the resolutions and the report of the commission as it has been concluded. Thank you, Chair.
No, thank you, Phumelela. I think your point has been taken. Can you please deal with the issues that has been addressed by Phumelela?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you. Okay. In terms of the resolution on the corruption, the people that were fully trained must be utilized, and premises that were identified also, it can be rechecked to check its availability so that we can address this issue of fraud and corruption that is taking place in the private and public sector. On the issue of, and this topic, it is in line with the Congress report of the day. Vaccination. Noting, we say, there should not be any mandatory vaccination. Our belief is that people must be given a chance to vaccinate or not to vaccinate. In order to resolve this issue, fortunately enough, there is a new code of good practice that was signed in 15 this month by our Minister Thules Ngesi, managing exposure of SARS-CoV-2 in the workplace 2022. That you will find in chapter 3, which is administration measures, section 12 to 19, and also on the National Health Act 2013 as amended. It was signed 14 March 2022. It is regulating related to the surveillance and the control of notifiable medical conditions. So this also it's emanate from the report of the Congress. When it comes to the alliance, we say the alliance in the national and provincial is not assisting workers because the decision of the ANC are not benefiting workers. Hence, we have a tricky question in our minds as to why should still be alliance with the ruling party. We all believe that in order to revive this, the SSCP in our communities, it should be active in the branches from different communities. The resolution is that SSCP should be capacitated in order for them to can be in a position to ascend a state power as the ruling party, while they are still enjoying its functional battle. So, this conduct of the ruling party, it creates a serious damage to the country at large, because service delivery is compromised and also managers fail to be accountable. So it is a high time for the consequence management principle to be implemented with immediate effect. State capture. We have noted that the matter is placed for discussion as whether we are on the right track on the state capture inquiry. So it will provide the country with the positive results. So the question is, what will emerge on the findings of the above questions? So as the Commission, we believe that the recent reports by the Judiciary of Inquiry into allegation of the state capture report and the investigation by the investigation unity, the SIU, into COVID-19 related procurement by the state institution have implicated numerous parties across both private and public sphere in allegations significant and concerning corrupt practices. Therefore, the SIU reports alone flagged transaction in an excess of 7.8 billion arising from corrupt procurement activities related to COVID-19 pandemics. So there is a well-known resources and capacity constraint experience, which is the NPA. So when we come to the resolving of the issue, we say one of the crucial elements of our constitutional vision is to make a decisive break from the unchecked abuse of state power and resources that was virtually institutionalized during the apartheid era. So to achieve this goal, we adopted accountability, the rule of law, and the supremacy of the Constitution as a value of our constitutional democracy. So for this reason, public office bearers ignore their constitutional obligations in the peril. So this is because constitutionalism, accountability, and the rule of law constitute the sharp and mighty sword that stand ready to chop the ugly head of the impunity of its stiff-necked neck. So it is against this backdrop that the following remarks must be understood. One, certain values in the Constitution have been designated as a foundational to our democracy. This is in turn means that as a pillar stone of this democracy, they must be observed scrupulously. So if these values are not observed and their precepts are not carried out consciously, we have a recipe for constitutional crisis of a great magnitude. So in a state predicted on a desire to maintain the rule of law, it is imperative that one and all should be driven by the moral obligation to ensure the continued survival of our democracy. And the role of these foundational values in helping to strengthen and sustain our constitutional democracy sits at the heart of this application. I thank you. We didn't manage to do that one.
No, thanks. That was the work of the commission. Can we now invite the plenary on the work of the commission? Pumelela.
Chair, I don't know, as a matter of principle, isn't it that the members of the commission inputs on any omission before we engage?
Can we do that? Can the members of the commission, Machabeng?
Okay, no, thank you, Chair. Chair, Commissioner una kanete job well done to the scriber and facilitator in the report. However, Chair, on the party election, it's unfortunate that, like I highlighted before, we had a challenge. So, in addition to what they omitted there, the issue ya last year, the election, the fact that we currently don't have our metros. Also the issue ya Maluti Pofun, the issue ya Metsima Hall. Those are some of the things that as the commission we felt that it is then the duty of the Congress to go back home and go and resuscitate the branches of the SACP, that now we start to take the SACP and motivate it and encourage it and make it strong that it can begin to lead the alliance. I believe then that is the resolution on the issue of the election. Problem in New York, the ANC is losing right, left and center.
No, thank you, a member of the commission. Is there anyone from the commission? Going once, twice, third. Then can now I invite the plenary on the work of the commission? Pumelela.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, from where I'm seated, I don't know whether the commission resolved to say, away with the alliance, SACP must lead the workers. Or the commission says we must flow in between and get to see where the weight of power is. So I think it's going to create us a problem, even in the next coming Congress. We will be seated here, not knowing as to what is it that we are resolving. I think, Chair, the Commission should have been brave in resolving around this matter. Whether we are saying we are going with SACP or we reconfigure alliance, on what terms? Because when you listen to arguments of reconfiguration of alliance, SACP does not come with terms of reconfigurations, terms that they want them to find expression within the reconfiguration. ANC does not even bother entertaining that. COSATU is patrolling in between ANC and SACP. So we are actually lost as to what is it that we need to do. I think, Chair, we need to take a position as Popcru, as unpopular as it might be, away with alliance, Chair. We are alone in the gutters. No one is seeming to assist or stand in favor of the workers. So we cannot continue with that particular alliance that is only beneficial to one party to that particular alliance. SACP should stop saying they are waiting for the African nation, for the COSATU to unleash them. SACP, if it does not have guts to contest the state power, let it pronounce itself that we do not have guts to contest state power and we can't take such risk, so that we are clear to say, no, SACP is not ready, and by virtue of that, we will remain in the mercy of African National Congress until Jesus comes. So, as Popcru Chair, it is our submission that let us take this to the National Congress of COSATU. That COSATU must take a stand to say, we divorce ourselves now from the alliance, on reasons provided. We cannot find ourselves, Chair, dying a natural death because we wanted to nurse alliance that does not want to nurse the relations with us. So that is that, Chair, under alliance. Transformation of judiciary. Chair, for the past 2 provincial congresses, if not 3, we have been talking about transformation of judiciary. But one Chair can ask a simple question as to how many black lawyers do we have in our country that are pro-transformation of judiciary? Because as a Popcru, we cannot just jump into court and say we want to transform this judiciary. We're going to do that through lawyers. We're going to challenge issues that we believe that they don't represent the majority, and Africans in particular, in the system of judiciary. We cannot be like a jukebox in a shebeen that makes noise even when there is no one is listening to it. We need to start to work on the ground. We need to take the spina and put it into works. So, Chair, let's take an initiative and say, let's now align ourselves with all like-minded black lawyers who are willing to partake in this process of transforming judiciary. Because judiciary cannot be transformed by the skin color or by a face of an individual. The ideology is the only one that can transform the system. So, that particular issue, Chair, it is our contribution that we need to play a role, an active and clear role. We cannot resolve forever. At some point, we need to find ourselves doing a spade work in terms of our resolutions. So, going to election results. Chair, it is clear that the factional battles of African National Congress has taken power from the African National Congress. So it's upon us, it goes back to issue of the alliance. It's upon us to decide that we stay with them as wounded as they are, or we move out. One resolution that we took, comrade, is that we swallow the ranks of African National Congress. That was, I think we never calculated the risk that was attached to that resolution. Because in swallowing the ranks, we were opening ourselves to contestation of ideas within the branches of African National Congress, of which that has a potential of swallowing us who went there to swallow ranks. And unfortunately take those factions and their agenda to the trade unions and the federation. So I think we need also to revisit that particular resolution and to check as to how do we swallow ranks, to which limit do we swallow ranks? Because there is a potential of us being swallowed in that particular process. So that is the little that one can submit, Chair, in terms of the resolutions of Commission 1. However, we one also like to appreciate the well work done by the Commission. Thank you, Chair.
No, thank you, Phumelela. Machabeng.
Ke kopa o ema on, I can say, Chair o tla nlokisa. On behalf of the commission, ne? Kapa
Are you responding?
plenary.
Are you responding to the question posed by Phumelela
Yes,
on the
actually.
work that you did not complete?
No, Chair, Phumelela one would respond to Phumelela in a sense that the commission understands that yesterday President kind of gave us the direction that instead of saying we are going out of the alliance, but rather then come to say the ANC move from leading the alliance and SACP come forward and lead the alliance. And how then will the SACP become in power or able to lead the alliance? It is through the workers. Hence, I believe then the commission, as the commission we said, let us then the Congress go back and start to resuscitate the branches of the SACP in order to prepare the ANC, the SACP to take power. Also, in saying, when you go to Metsimaholo, the president also said it. It's not that Metsimaholo was not, SACP was not ready then, but it was not prepared because when you go to the ground, people don't understand what do we say, what do we talk to when we say socialism. They understand capitalism because that is what white people already has implanted in them. So we've got a very huge job to go back and start to replant something new within our people. Amandla. Then Machabeng say, Amandla.
No, thank you. You will follow. I saw a hand at the back. You'll follow after.
I will follow after.
Or are you supplementing or are you?
No, Chair, I want to speak on behalf of local.
Okay, you'll come after the speaker at the back. Where is the roving mic? Mangaung, you are noted and Machabeng.
Thank you, Chairperson. Comrades, I didn't want to waste time, but just from picking up on what has been said with regards to responses on Commission 1, I think perhaps one of the things that we should consider is that from time to time we go to congresses where resolutions and decisions are taken, And then beyond that, in most cases, membership would just leave the rest up to the leadership without necessarily playing a critical part in ensuring that some of the decisions are being taken up. For example, I think this, of course, is prompted by what was raised earlier on in responding to what was presented by Commission 1. When it comes to the issue of the SACP as an example, I think we need to ask ourselves really, and I think Free State is a good example to refer to because it was in Metsimaholo where they were, where the SACP rather, had some form of a venture wherein they contested the elections therein. So we can look at that example and reflect it broadly on what other avenues could obviously be pursued in the future. But I think the critical thing is that we need to consider as to whether we are speaking as outsiders or what, because the view that is projected seems to say that no, there's some SACP leadership somewhere there in isolation from the rest of us, and therefore, due to the fact that they could not, or they are not ready to contest, or they had not taken certain measures, then therefore, so we're basically excluding ourselves from this debate. So it's quite important that whenever we reflect on such matters, we also ask ourselves as to whether we are members of the SACP. What role are we playing within our structures? Do we have influence within our communities as well? Okay, the second part as well, mainly related to that, is the fact that, you see, I don't know if Congress can be empowered to take a decision to say we're leaving the alliance with immediate effect, because it's been coming up more often. But we need to also remind ourselves that we come from a national Congress in 2019 where decisions were taken. So as the highest decision-making body, which is the National Congress, I would then suggest that certain issues can be in the form of recommendations, not as resolutions to say we are leaving the alliance, because there has been a national decision taken, which of course binds all of us. I think those are the 2 points I wanted to raise there.
No, thank you, Comrade Richard. Machabi.
No, thanks, Chair. Chair, firstly, as Machabi, we would like to echo the same sentiment as Pumelela in acknowledging the job done by Commission 1 insofar as the political report is concerned. Chair, we actually firstly wanted to talk to the issue of the African National Congress within Free State. In actual fact, the infightings within the African National Congress in our province, we are firstly worried as a local. However, we are worried mostly about the impact of these factions of the ANC, Kaharoho, firstly COSATU, and Popcru as a trade union movement. Chair, I think we had a situation some time back when we elected, or we were told in one of the COSATU congresses that was held in Kronstadt, that Comrade Seme will be deployed to legislature. Immediately after that, Chair, it was followed by the comrade being elected as the chairperson of the African National Congress in the Free State. Subsequent to that, the comrade was then appointed as the MEC of Police, Roads and Transport. Now, we feel that to a particular extent, remember, coming from that particular short council of COSATU, we were urged as affiliates to support Comrade Sam, more especially because he will be in government. I think that is the first mistake that we did, Chair. Because it is clear, Chair, that there are factions within ANC in Free State. And without necessarily entering into a space of identifying comrades as to which functions do a particular comrade belong to, I think it is no. But the comrade got comfortable to a point that he would come to our congresses as Popcru and he would insult some of the leaders. And that is informed precisely by the fact that the comrade knew that affiliates were urged to support him from the Provincial Short Council of COSATU. Now, we want to at least attempt to resolve, or this Congress should take a resolution, we should refrain from supporting individual leaders. What is important, Rona, as Popcru, COSATU, it is important that we support the movement, not individual leaders, because reality check, leaders, they come and they go, and the movement would remain. Secondly, Chair, on the issue of the South African Communist Party, I don't want to take it far. We are having challenges indeed, Chair, because in 2 congresses of COSATU that we have attended, we were informed as leadership that Communist Party seems to be, or wanting to play a divisive role insofar as the Provincial Congress of COSATU is concerned. And, Chair, most of us, we were introduced to Communist Party through structure Popcru. I think my first short council that I attended, that is when I was introduced to Communist Party and I was forced to sign stop order. And I still belong to a branch of Communist Party and I'm participating. So it becomes a challenge if I'm being told that the very same movement that I subscribe to, that seems to, or its own mandate is to drive the politics of the workers, seems to be playing a divisive role to a particular extent. So, Chair, I think as part of our submissions, we would like to urge the Congress at least to resolve that there should be engagements at the provincial level between mostly COSATU, Popcru, and the Communist Party. Remember, Chairperson, Popcru, we have been supportive to the Communist Party. I think comrades would know, the first building of Communist Party in South Africa was bought by Popcru. So it is important, Chair, that we mend relations with the South African Communist Party. Hence, as much as Chair would like to at least submit that there should be engagement at that level to clear this particular confusion, because it is really confusing. Thanks, Chair.
No, thank you, Machavi.
Chair, thank you very much. I think to a greater extent, we are not misdirected to resolve that we want to move away from the ANC. I don't think so. Because this Provincial Congress has that power to come with a resolution. And it will be upon the national congresses or the NEC or the CEC of this organization that will then take this resolution forward. Based on what the President was saying yesterday, it is quite clear, and one was watching even the news yesterday, we are not having a president in this country. We are having a businessman who is busy with his own businesses. And it's a pity that we want to entangle ourselves with the politics, whereas we are trade unionists. And who is suffering at the end of the day? We are here and we are still going to talk about the collective bargaining being attacked. And we still want to say ANC is relevant. And I'm speaking as a worker, not a politician, because I'm not one. And one would want to align himself with the resolution that is sponsored by Pumelela to say, this Congress, and particularly this commission, let us then resolve boldly. So President said it clear yesterday, ANC is going down the drain. Even when we were listening to Comrade Pelpakis when he was addressing us yesterday, he was saying, and it is clear and it is common cause, come the next general elections, majority of these workers, whether or not we give them the mandate or the direction to vote ANC, they are not going to vote ANC. For one simple reason, it is not correct that for 2 years, petrol prices have been increasing, food prices are increasing. We are in this Mangau metro where the community is suffering, there is no water, and we are still saying ANC is relevant. No, we cannot fool ourselves. It is upon us to take a firm resolution and say, as the workers, together with COSATU, let us then, with the direction of the President, tell the SACP leaders who are in government, who are entangled in the corruption in the government, to step down. President gave us the direction yesterday. He said, let us tell them to come down so that we must be ready to contest state power. Simple as that. So therefore, we second that resolution or the motion that COSATU divorce from ANC. This marriage is no longer working, it's GVV, Chair. Thank you very much.
No, thanks, Mangaung. I think I'm now, because of time, I'm trying to, Machabeng, because I don't want to allow it to prolong the debate. We wanted to summarize, and you'll be the last speaker.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Chair, I came on behalf of Commission 1 to say, we cannot come and say we are divorcing ourselves from the alliance per se. We can't do that. At the end of the day, the direction that we put forward is that let us follow the direction of the president, that within the alliance, we now talk to the leader of the alliance, ANC move. We prepare SACP to move and be the leader of the alliance. But divorcing ourselves, we must remember, it's not going to be Papa's place like this and then we are divorced, comrades. It's going to take process. Even the issue, SACP to take power, it's a process, comrades. What we are going to do going forward, comrades, whether we like it or we don't, because I am an active member of the ANC branching back, I am going to go out with the t-shirt of the ANC and say to people, vote for the ANC. That is mnengo. For time being, as and when we prepare the SACP as workers to come forth, comrades, let us not divorce. Divorce is painful, guys. Aman.
Let me.
Amandla, away too. Comrades, we are in a provincial congress of Popcru, and it's very much important for us to understand the powers and duties of a provincial congress. Clause 14.2.1.5 reads as thus, comrades, and I want us to take note as Congress. We have a power and a duty to formulate policy for the province, provided that such policy is not inconsistent with the decision of the National Congress, Central Executive Committee, or National Executive Committee. Comrades, I think Comrade Richard has properly articulated to say we are coming from a 2019 National Congress that has in actual fact reaffirmed our own support towards the Alliance and the African National Congress. So the only power that we would have here is not to make a decision to divorce ourselves from that particular, from the Alliance. What the Congress can do, the Congress is empowered to make such recommendation to the higher structure, which would be now the National Executive Committee, to further engage on this particular matter. But I don't think we are constitutionally empowered as a Congress to take such a decision. So my plea, comrades, to Mangaung as well as Pumelela, in line with the provision that one has just read, it's to appeal to yourself to say, let's really let's reconsider that particular decision to say divorce. We are unable and not empowered constitutionally so to make such a decision. Thank you, Chair.
I thought I was going to close it, and if the plenary can allow me to summarize it in this fashion to bring closer different views, is that on the issue of the alliance, is that the Congress say that on the issue of the alliance, we are not divorcing ourselves from the alliance. However, we are saying that there must be a robust engagement in terms of checking with the alliance partners who can be the leader of the alliance in absence of the African National Congress currently now because of the own goals that they are scoring, so that we can have a solid way of dealing with the issues within the alliance, but on the issue of now who is going to lead in the alliance itself. That is how I think maybe one can summarize it in that way, because in so doing, we are not even tampering with the resolution that was taken at the National Congress, whereby it was said that it was reaffirmed that as Popcru, as an affiliate of COSATU, we reaffirm that in terms of the alliance, we are still believe in the alliance, but however, in terms of the conditions that are prevailing in the alliance, we are not happy with the decisions that have been taken by the ruling party, which represent the alliance in government. Can I just maybe get the indication on that particular summary, please? Phumelela and Machabe.
Between us and Machabin, but however, Chair, maybe one must just clarify the fact that the reason why, Chair, we were so adamant to say we resolve is that we understand that moving from this Congress, there will be another Congress of the Popcru nationally. And this resolution will find expression in the debate within the Congress and will be able to advance it and support it and at least convince the Congress as to from what we coming from. We were not necessarily saying we nullify the resolution that was taken by the National Congress, and from tomorrow morning, the National Office and the NEC must go and facilitate the process of us divorcing ourselves from the alliance. So it is within that spirit we were saying, as Congress of Free State, we resolve. Then moving forward, Chair, your summary, as your summary as it is, we accept it. We accept it as it is, Chair, and we would like to move for acceptance of it as the reflection of the Congress.
No, okay.
No, thank you, Chair.
Before Mango.
Mandla, away too. Comrade, I don't think we are far apart with regard to this matter, because comrades are saying, you know, comrade, you must understand that when comrades are saying our movement is in crisis, and therefore within the alliance, because it's the leader of the alliance currently, then comrades are saying the Communist Party must prepare and be ready. Must prepare and be ready, comrade, to lead this revolution. Because seemingly, the movement that led actually this revolution is in crisis. Hence, therefore, we don't want, comrade, the whole alliance to go down with the leader of this alliance. Hence, we are saying, but we are not saying they must get, in fact, the Communist Party must be outside of the alliance. We are saying they must be within the alliance, but must lead the revolution, which is the National Democratic Revolution that is currently led by the ANC. And there is nothing wrong, comrade, to resolve here as the province. But you must know that you've got a mountain to climb again as a province in the conference, National Conference of Popcru, to convince. Because if you have taken this decision as the Free State Conference, you must be able, comrade, to persuade other provinces to agree with your resolution, to say, Popcru National, this is a resolution of Popcru in the conference of 2023, November. So there's nothing wrong with that, but this should be a resolution of Free State. But I've never heard one who said, we must, one component of the alliance must be out of the alliance. We're saying whoever that is must take over and lead the alliance. So whoever that is going to lead will be leading the whole alliance. So that is why I'm saying we are not far apart, because we are not saying, by saying, I think maybe it's the words that we're using. Because once you begin to say divorce, comrade, feel that you cut the umbilical cord with those people. But it says that it will be still within the alliance. It's just that, comrade, you change the jockey. But the horse is the same. You see? So you change the jockey. You said, I know, this jockey is not going to help us to achieve what we seek to achieve. Can we have a new jockey to lead this revolution? I think we're saying that, Comrade Chair. That's what my comrades are saying. And we're saying this should be the resolution of this conference. But comrades must know that they still have to persuade. We are going to debate it in the commissions of the National Conference next year. And as actually the delegate that will come from this province, they must know that this is a resolution of Free State. And therefore they must be able to advance and persuade other provinces to agree with this resolution of Free State. So I think, Comrade Chair, if that should be our resolve, I think then Comrade will be fine with that. Thanks.
Machabeng, I think after clarity, do you still want to?
Yes, Chair. Chair, Machabeng, ne re batla o check obane go tlile phumelela ka mane e move akere. Ne re batla o understand ona the summary that the chairperson just did now. Is it the summary of Commission 1 or only on the issue of the alliance? Because Commission 1 e bile le di point nyana tse itseng tse pedi tse tharo. So ne re fela before re ka second a phumelela re move to Commission 3. Can we then get the clarity? But thank you, Secretary, ka the clarity, because the way Chairperson and I posed it, that is also what Machabeng was going to talk to. Because when you say we need to check whoever who will take the lead, but we have identified SACP. So when we say whoever, it's like now we are not sure in terms of the alliance who next should lead the alliance. So whoever it's a big word, or if battle fake or okay, there's Sanko leader or something. So we are clear that SACP should now prepare. Actually, it's supposed to have already prepared from Metsi Mahulu issue. It's correct. Metsi Mahulu issue. In the Free State, ne tshwantse be ba santse ba le aware rona ke kae mo default di etsahetseng teng, and how then do we take it forward? And also I agree with the I agree with the comrade to say sometimes when we talk it's like we are outside the SACP, kapa SACP is outside us, because when we talk we say SACP is doing this as if we are not the SACP. Amanda, comrade, if maybe we can clarity before we second Phumelela.
No, I think Machabeng, after the explanation or clarity that was given by the GS, Phumelela has already said that they are amenable to the rephrasing of divorcing from the resolution, because as Free State, we agree that indeed the alliance it's in tatters because of the leader of the alliance currently is the African National Congress. And we are saying that in moving forward is what we resolve, that you are still part of the alliance, but we need to change the leader of the alliance that is going to take the revolutionary forward. in terms of what we are saying. That is basically what I'm summarizing in terms of the sponsors from the plenary. Are you covered?
Okay, ke nahana ke batla ke le slightly covered. Yeah, last part. So you have not summarized yet Commission 1 resolution, Sajak?
Yes.
Amandla.
Okay. It was only on this part of the alliance itself, ne? Okay. And actually, this is what has been now, is in addition in what the commission have put forward in terms of your work that we are supposed to have undertaken. So in that, if the plenary agrees, can we move for the adoption of all the resolutions from the Commission 1, including this amendment that has already been made? Can I get the indication, please? Metsimaolo, Machabeng, Sesotho.
Thanks, Chair. Without wasting any time, I'm just moving for the motion. We are moving for all the resolutions that have been taken from Commission 1 and also all the submissions done by the General Secretary and also you, Chairperson. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Machabeng. Machabeng.
Oh, okay.
No, thanks, Chair. Chairperson, man, we are not actually happy in the manner in which the work of the political report has been summarized. Like previously, the previous commission, the Chairperson outlined all the resolutions that has been taken so that we are aware insofar as what we are moving for is concerned. But in respect of political report, Chair, we see the Chairperson or Unka the shortcut. We would really like to have those resolutions, Chair. Really clear. That is the plea for my Chair. Thanks very much.
Can we have the resolutions on the board so that I can summarize it on the board? On the screen, please. Because basically we have been listening, this is what we have agreed upon, because here we were just amending. Unless you are saying Machabeng, all the resolutions, the plenary did reject them.
Masiye comrade, Machabeng will second the mover.
Okay. Can we have, thank you, Commission 1. Can we have the last commission, please? The last commission.
Amandla. No, thanks, Chairperson of the session. I'm here as the rapporteur of organizational report, which will be your Commission 3. Comrades, the first issue would be institutions and shop stewards. As a commission, we note meetings are not realized as per the constitution of Popcru. Secondly, elected shop stewards not having interest of members at heart. Poor communication between shop stewards and members thereby creates a void. As a commission, we resolve holding meetings and interventions consistently with members would then assist insofar as issues of membership service is concerned. Elected shop stewards who has the will to lead should be capacitated, and we should refrain from creating a vacuum between ourselves and those that we are leading, which will be in this particular instance our members. On organizational renewal, comrades, we note that we have had situations in shop steward council where you find shop stewards being complainant. The second issue we note, Chair, that our old ways of communicating with our members are no longer effective. Thirdly, some shop stewards are not capacitated in terms of their responsibilities. Number 4, most of our institutions are not functioning. Lastly, Chair, we note that the locals do not have resources. On the resolving part, Chair, we believe that interaction between organization and members would then assist, communicate or create a social media platforms. Comrades, the issue of social media platforms, we are quite aware as a commission that there's a Facebook page of Popcru. But as a commission, we believe that issues of social media platforms cannot be limited only to Facebook. I think there are issues of YouTube accounts where members can get information. And then in terms of shop stewards who are not who do not know their role, we believe that the constitution must be used as a guiding tool insofar as assisting those shop stewards is concerned. And we resolve also, Chair, that the shop stewards to be informed about their rights at stational level, their rights at station level. And then, comrades, during our deliberations as a commission, we established that there are some benefits that members are getting from SAP. Hence, we have this challenge of dual membership. And we believe as a commission, Chair, that it's important that we talk to these issues. Our submissions, insofar as that is concerned, Chair, we believe that workers' lives should also improve their services. And then we also would like to resolve, Chair, that locals must be assessed. In actual fact, the locals should assess shop stewards, because currently we do not have any measuring tool insofar as institutional shop stewards are concerned. We are not assessing them. So we believe that they should be assessed and correctly so by the local. And we believe that the local offices should be resourced. This thing, comrades, of us having to rely the resources of the employer to execute our duties, to a particular extent, it compromises us. And if we are saying we want to be sustainable, at some point we need to move towards directioneering. We need to have our own offices and resources, in a nutshell. On the organization response towards the 4th Industrial Revolution, we note, Chair, that globally other countries have made significant progress insofar as the 4th Industrial Revolution is concerned. However, as an organization, we are still using old methods or mechanisms. If one was to make a classical example, if a member wants to be recruited to come to Popcru, a full-time shop steward has to travel from somewhere with a stop order. That is one of the issues that we are raising in terms of the organization still using old methods, Chair. We then resolved that the organization should create an app. And in this app, we should upload the stop orders. If one wants to join Popcru, you just have to go to the app, join it from the app. You don't necessarily have to wait for a full-time shop steward driving from somewhere. Secondly, Chairperson, we said we must also be able to cater for both I was told my BBT, Lema 2000. Because the understanding is that there are those who do not prefer to come, sit in a meeting and listen to presentations to the shop steward. But there are those who, because Habam Natica technology, they would normally want to come, but hence we said we must cater for both parties. The recent signed agreements must be uploaded on the app, because one of the issues that was raised by comrades in the commission, shop stewards cannot even interpret some of the agreements it's already signing as an organization. Precisely because for us to be able to study those agreements, we rely on the employer. If we want a certain agreement, we have to go to resources to the employer through the intranet and stuff. It will be easier if we create our own application, Chair. And then we said any new information regarding the organization must also be uploaded on the app for easy reference for comrades. The other issue, comrades, is usually decided cases. I think it will be easier if for example, a particular comrade has done a case, such a case will then be used as a decided case, re-upload the app there for easy reference for other comrades as well. We would also, Chair, want to resolve or local secretaries should be allocated with resources, for an example, laptop, or cell phones, and 3G cards. Because reality, comrades, all these locals, for them to submit reports and other things, they have to rely on the resources of the employer. We are aware, comrades, in terms of the agreement that has been signed between ourselves as Popcru and the employer insofar as resources are concerned. But we feel as a commission, it is not sufficient. We also believe, Chair, that Popcru should have its own cars that are branded as part of our marketing strategy. I think, comrades, there's this word that we normally hear, now, our enemy in terms of marketing, they are a little bit pelenyana, comrades. Since we said, insofar as we market, we need to have those cars utilized at local level. We actually resolved, Chair, that all provincial cars that the provinces are no longer using them should be donated to locals, because we understand or it might not be possible for national to buy each and every local a vehicle. Lastly, our sister unions are having branded cars, and we should compare ourselves with sister unions pertaining issues of recruitment. On recruitment and retention, the Commission notes, Chair, that locals are not having recruitment materials at their disposal. Secondly, old members are complaining to getting T-shirts. Thirdly, visibility is lacking on the ground. Number 4, information is not shared with members timelessly or as it should be. Number 5, SAPU benefits are better than that of workers' life benefits. 6, advertising the organization remains a challenge. Shop stewards are not assessed insofar as recruitment is concerned. Recruitment programs are not consistent, either being at local level or at provincial level. And then lastly, Chair, we note that PSA is hosting an entire party for its members. The reason that we felt that we need to reflect this, Chair, it is because comrades, through the engagement as a they established already, we would have members who are dual. A member will be a Popcru member and a PSA member. And members will tell you, no, I kirata Popcru. But the challenge you go Popcru as lemosefela, it's a party. Therefore, I would keep my membership of PSA on a basis that come the year end, I'll be able to can attend that party. The Commission believes that advertising is the most important. Is important to market the organization. And we further resolved, the Chair, local recruitment should be intertwined with those of the province. Locals to have recruitment materials at their disposal at all times. We must reaffirm our long outstanding resolution, one T-shirt, one member a year, as resolved previously. We also resolved that we need to have road shows and activities as a form of retention strategy. We also resolved, the Chair, that to have or be in contact with members at all times and also sharing of information. We resolved that we need to have workshop in teaching our members about the organization as form of retention of members. We need to invest more on advertising. In return, more members will be aware and they will join the organization. We also need to align ourselves with the fourth industrial revolution changes. We also need to formulate a way of assessing shop stewards, either being weekly or monthly. Monthly recruitment programs should be put in place and assessment be made thereafter. Locals hold their LOB meetings. We resolved that locals should hold their LOB meetings at different stations within their local for at least the issue of visibility, comrades. On the topic of COVID-19, Chair, firstly, the Commission, we note that COVID-19 has taught us that we can do things differently and have the same result. It has also made us to realize our gatherings virtually, and it was very much cost-effective. We further note that most gender advocacy programs and awareness campaigns were suspended due to the impact of COVID-19. We note that the LGBTQI plus GBV communities related crimes have escalated during the COVID-19. The Commission resolved that through technology you can reach a large number of audience, like I've said, virtually. For an example, provincial gender structures to come up with a program which would include other stakeholders like your FAMSA and other places of safety. On the topic of sectoral, Chair, the Commission, DCS, we noted that we are having serious challenges within the current DCS management, more especially the Regional Commissioner. Secondly, we need to influence the removal. I think this is the resolving part, Chair. The Commission resolved that we need to influence the removal of the current Regional Commissioner, Mayor Moodley, and further ensure an appointment of a new RC. On traffic, the Commission knows that our long outstanding resolution of nationalization of traffic is still outstanding. We resolve that in the absence of implementation of nationalization of traffic, the leadership should take charge. Secondly, we should take the issue head on. Thirdly, the province should formulate its policies in the absence of policies in police, roads and transport, more especially on issues such as promotional policy. On SAPS, we note that there's an issue insofar as safety of our members is concerned, that indeed the safety of our members is compromised. We note that satellite police stations are still being utilized. Thirdly, Chair, we note that there's a serious shortage of members in all police stations. The Commission resolved that farm police station or satellite police station must be capacitated, and where there's a need, they must be closed. I think there was an issue here, Yason Scaly, as an example here in Free State. The Commission further resolved that more police members should be absorbed in the system. On policies and agreements, Chair, the Commission notes that most of the signed agreement and policies are not being implemented by the employer. We resolved that signed agreements should be monitored and evaluated timelessly. Secondly, we should take to the street all the agreements that are not implemented in all sectors that we are operating in. I think that will be the long and the short of the presentation of Commission 3. We believe that we did our utmost best as a commission insofar as trying to do justice to the organizational report is concerned. Amanda.
No, thank you, Commission. Can I just get an indication from the members of the Commission? Is there anything that you want to input, Sector Coordinator? Where is the roving mic?
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Chair, we just want to add on the omissions of the on the work that we have done as the commission. One, it's about under the organizational renewal. We have also noted, Chair, that our shop stewards needs to be supported. We cannot just elect shop steward and dump them there. We need to capacitate them, and then as a result of that, we need the budget for the training. The budget should be allocated in each and every province, specifically for the training, Chair. Now, further than that, under sectoral, we'll start with DCS. We've also noted the shortage of members. Chair, I'm sure we've heard what the President said yesterday in his address, where he talked about that DCS does not have the shift pattern. We cannot have the shift pattern because of the shortage of members that we have. When you go to Western Cape is working this particular shift. Eastern Cape is working this particular shift. Limpopo is working this particular shift. We don't have a uniform shift. It is due to the shortage that we have. So, further than that, under sectoral, Chair, we also want to add, under still DCS, we have noted that the labor forums as well as the steering committee structures have collapsed. From national up to all the regions, these particular structures have actually collapsed. And it is our responsibility, Chair, to ensure that we ensure that these structures are actually realized. Further than that, Chair, or last, on the issue of traffic, Chair, as an organization, we really have to divert all the resources that we have in this particular sector where we are organizing in traffic. You know, when you engage with our comrades from that particular sector, there are a lot of challenges in traffic. So, further than that, Chair, we have noted the issue of about my uniforms and further, and the security. We have security members at traffic, each and every traffic. These members are exposed to danger, and then it looks like they are forgotten. Please, this issue of our security members, they are just being placed there without tools of trade. And they are there to guard the premises of employer, day and night. It was said, when I engaged with some of these security members, they told us that at night they lock themselves in. Whatever that they hear, they will never go out because they don't even have the source of even communication. So that is that. I just wanted to add that, Chair, where I felt that the commission might have omitted that. Thank you.
No, thank you, member of the commission. Is there anyone from the commission before we give it to plenary? In absence, let me invite the plenary. Phumelela. Dihlabeng and Machabe.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I did not take notes, but I will just crisscross on matters that I believe we have inputs as Pumelen. Chair, firstly, under organizing, we would like to say, Chair, we cannot be a union that is hell-bent on coming on with programs of recruitment every second day of its operation. We have so many things, Chair, that we need to deal with as an organization. And we believe that as an organization, we need, as delegates of the Congress to start with, and in extension as an organization, we need to build an organization that is like a magnet that attracts members to it because of its work, rather than us going out and search for members, because that consumes more of our time in dealing with other strategic issues that leadership needs to deal with. Firstly, Chair, we can deal with such issues in a simpler way. First thing, Chair, we are aware about the attitude of South African Police Service in terms of implementing the policy of discipline. Chair, it is ours to take the management of SAPS to task on implementation of such policy, because it is clear, it has been proven more often that they use it as a punitive measure instead of corrective measure. So it is us who need to call the management of South African Police Service into bilaterals and get our understanding clear with them and understand as to whether is this an attack to us as Popcru, or is this their style of management? Because, Chair, a leader that cannot lead will always discipline. So, if management of SAPS are attacking our members in that fashion, we need to stand up as an organization and fight for that. And our members automatically will come to us, because that is where they see Uguti, security and the well-being corner. Because basically, for an ordinary member to join a union, it's like joining an insurance. He needs the security for his job. So it is on the basis of that, Chair. We believe that as Popcru, we need to gravitate to a space where we work tirelessly to ensure that we become a magnet to membership. Chair, under bargaining, Chair, we share the sentiments and we echo the sentiments that were presented by the Commission to say, it is our duty as an organization to fight for implementation of collective agreements. Otherwise, collective agreement is useless. And we cannot allow such to happen while we are still in existence within these sectors that we are operating under. So we echo the sentiments of saying, Chair, we need to constantly monitor and police the implementation of our collective agreements, and not just partial implementation, a thorough implementation of the collective agreements. Chair, on the issue that was raised of monitoring and electing shop stewards that are willing or capable, I did not capture well as to whether that are willing or capable of serving members. I believe, Chair, we rather say as the plenary, we resolve that we must continuously strive to capacitate our shop stewards on the shop floor. Because, Chair, if one can make a typical example, if all 5 of us are employed in one company today, and tomorrow Popcru will come and say, we want to organize you. If you are saying you must elect a shop steward that is capable of serving, who will be capable? We are all new. We rather take an initiative of saying continuously train and capacitate our newly elected shop steward. We can never tire up in that particular space of training and capacitating, being it a formal or an informal training, but we must take a responsibility of training the newly elected shop stewards. Chair, we are a bit skeptical on issue of organization donating old cars to locals. Provinces are 9. Next year, if they say the contracts of this car are out of their motor plan, and as such, union declares them as a debt or as costly for them to sustain them, which province or which local will get from those 9 cars? Or maybe let me make an example of saying, we have Popcru 6 in Free State, if we are saying then we are going to give it to local, which local are we going to give? Because we have 10 locals and 1 car. So I think, Chair, in that particular space, we rather say there should be an increase in terms of budget for the movement of that provincial car to assist even in the locals. Not necessarily to say each and every local must have its own car. Or maybe then, if we are to be extreme, we can say, rather let's have a concentrated region where we will say, the car will operate in this region, and this other one will operate in this region, and that other one will operate in this region. But the question is that, where shall our collective agreement where the employer is committed assist us with the resources? So, question is that, are we then saying we use that as an extra or as an alternative in case the employer failed to assist us? I think on that one we need to fine-tune it and resolve it in a way that it will be easily implemented, because it will not assist this Congress that we resolved for the sake of resolving, but when it comes to implementation, it is 100% impossible to implement. Chair, the issue of other resources like the cell phone, the laptops, and the 3Gs, we agree with that particular resolution, Chair. It is not by our own making, but we are forced by the migration of the technology of this world, that you cannot have an office that is standing there while you are 300 kilometers away from the office. You need to be a moving office, and the resources should be on your fingertips in order for you to service members of this organization. Then, Chair, when coming to issues of traffic, Chair, we align ourselves with the sentiments that says we need to challenge the management of traffic. We need to challenge the management of traffic, Chair, in terms of providing primarily uniform as tools of trade. It is their responsibility, Chair, as employers to provide tools of trade. We cannot have a situation where our members are undermined in that particular fashion of wearing a uniform that is not dignified. They represent the government as they are standing on the road. They represent the department and the HOD as they are standing on the road. So we need to take it to the street and expose the traffic department of Free State by not providing uniform to our members. And not just a uniform, Comrade Chair, a uniform of a quality. Further to that, Chair, we also, since the matter has been touched on uniform, we also like to propose that, Chair, we need to look into the uniform policy of all 3 departments in which we are operating in. You go to DCS, there is a crisis of uniform. And in DCS, they have this department, they say, textile. They have something that they call textile, meaning that the inmates can make uniform there, but you find the officials not having a uniform. I think it's us who need to venture into that space and come up with proposals of how do we curb the issue of lack of uniform at Department of Correctional Services. You go to South African Police Services, it pretends as if it has uniform. Also, it does not. It does not have a uniform on the basis that the credit for uniform is 1.6. The boots of the police officials are 900. So tell me that what is it that you're going to buy with that 700 that is left? Because you can only get 1 trouser and no shirt, nothing. your 1,600 is exhausted, and you go again to uniform shop, you find that there is no uniform also there. And also, Chair, we need also to revisit the dressing code of South African Police Service. There are PSA members there, and there are Police Act members who do not wear uniform. And in terms of the dress code, they must wear ties and brand hoods. And Chair, how do you expect a police officer to chase a criminal wearing a tie? Is there any logic there? How do you expect a police officer to jump a fence wearing a brand hood? Is there any logic? I think we need to get into that space and try to bring sense of reasonability from such policies. Those are old apartheid policies that seems to portray others as if they are more educated than others and they are more better than others. You need to be flexible at work to any situation and circumstance that might arise. So as the union, we need to engage such policies and try to be flexible and change with times. Chair, I think that will be my 5-cent contribution to the resolutions of the commission. Thank you, Chair.
No, thank you. Dihlabe.
Okay, thank you, Chair. As the Clubbing Chair, first we would like to thank the Commission for the work that they have done. They've done a lot. Our point that we want to comment on is the issue of the resolution that our union took some time ago, especially this resolution of the T-shirts. I think it's 2 years back. Our union issues the T-shirts to each and every member. But unfortunately, from where we're coming from, in Dihlabe, only few institutions get the T-shirts. Others didn't. And the members, they are still waiting for those T-shirts that they were promised. And as a result of that, we've lost quite a number of members who were not happy about that issue of not getting the T-shirts. So we would like to urge our unions to stick to their resolutions. If the resolution is taken, please, let's ensure that that resolution is being taken care of. Because now it seems there is a preference. Others are getting, others are not getting. Because we were promised that, the members were promised that there will be a second batch. Up to now, it hasn't happened. Members are still waiting for those T-shirts. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Dihlabe. Machabi.
Amandla, Chair. Comrades, we are almost done. I think 10 o'clock e batla ile hole nyana. Re tlo fihla o yona, comrades. Santsane re tlo ala mnoto. Comrade, let us, as Machaben, thank the Commission 3 for informative report. Kanete ba tisitse dipotomane. Comrades, I think in addition to the resolution that were taken by Commission 3, Machaben would like to add the part where management is very disrespectful when it comes to Popcru. In all sectors, Ratellwa, Kdbs. Management now, we are supposed to be scared of them. We are no longer all stakeholders within this thing. We've got a general there called Mamdisi. Mamdisa tells our members, it's an instruction that members should not wear the t-shirt tsa mokgahlo. And obana ki bua ka mokgahlo mo ke tla bua ka Popcru. Member ga ba ska ba kenya t-shirt tsa Popcru, member ga ba ska ba kenya di mask tsa Popcru. Ko tella ntwe. Ke iposa o union o nyefi. Haeba o belonga o Popcru tshwantsa khalemelo. And leadership, you'll find that there is a problem here, the mask subs. Habafi the member of the mask. Popcru fight member of the mask. What does that say? Tell leadership. Leadership, when you go to traffic, management or traffic doesn't want to listen to the leadership. Irrespective of its institutional shop surety, local shop surety, they don't want to listen. It goes as far as a manager saying to you, I will only listen to the province. That member is a chief region. So that member must actually abuele locally, not the province. So can we then begin to talk to the issues in terms of, I believe, induction, ya manager be inducted about the responsibilities of a shop steward. That actually it's not a favor for a manager to consult a union about issues concerning members at the station level or institution level. So can we also talk to that, comrades? Because leadership, let us also re-opele leadership ya rona matsoho. We had a challenge in traffic in terms of security officers that were employed in bulk. Comrades, those members were employed Bafuas Libisa stipend. Libisa? It was a problem. The leadership assisted us fella on that issue. Yes, currently we're still having a challenge in terms of department absorber. However, there's a huge progress within that sector. And leadership lead member the issue there also, key issue ya the building. Joloka Chairperson and we've got a serious issue of building, the light hadio, and these members, comrades, but so says like day in, day out. If Koloi Ichwatue, more traffic department, now Ichika to these members are the ones who are actually stealing them. I'm not saying they are not, I don't know. But it's unfair that after there's a breakage at that station, employer will come and say, is this member who stole? Do you have evidence of that? No, there's no evidence, but accusation is there. The member is being victimized because of assumption. It's a problem, leadership. Can we assist security within traffic leaders? Rekopali di torch for the member ratse. So lankanyana re santsane re le mo uniform security. And comrades, we also need to talk to the attitude ya management of traffic in terms of what had happened to Lejwe Leputswa, because today it has happened to Lejwe Leputswa, tomorrow is going to happen to other locals or regions, comrades. That members who were not given uniform were told that they must stay at the office. In that saying, it means these members, but disadvantage were SNT, but disadvantage were overtime, comrades. Leadership, Machabeng would like also to concur with Pumelela to say, at some points, leadership, we believe the Congress needs to resolve on the issue of, generally, the Free State traffic is not happy with the uniform issued. Act require you must be in full uniform when you stop a vehicle. These members were only given a trouser and a shirt. Some no boots, but definitely no cap, no epaulets, no reflector. And these members are told to go and stop vehicles. And when you come back, the employer says, I want these members, individually in particular, I want these 12 members to be safe, therefore they can't go to the road. So we are saying, can just for a day, Free State, Popcru, we come to Bloemfontein, we close it. Those who cannot come to Bloemfontein, wherever you are, you close whatever town or whatever station that you are in. Or the head office of that region, we close it. But our impact needs to be felt. There's no way an employer will come and say, "Kasebeti, habatsamaye balodula di office," as if those people do not matter. As if 6 months back, you, the one who has a shirt and a trouser, you did not matter. Why now safety matters, but 6 months back it did not matter? We need to resolve leadership on the issue of strike. Leadership, can we talk to the issue of nationalization? This issue is our whole comrades. And I heard yesterday the president say, the president now is no longer talking nationalization of traffic. He's talking traffic. But we'll see as time goes on how that unfolds. However, with that said, Chair, can we then come as the Congress talk to the issue of RTMC? When we talk of nationalization of traffic, when RTMC has colleges, the paper written in traffic colleges all over South Africa is said to be RTMC. It's an agency. When you talk of the transactions to be made at traffic department, that INATIS belongs to RTMC. Exactly then when you talk of nationalization of traffic, what are we talking about? What are we saying? What are we nationalizing there? Uniform. Because RTMC is actually, the only thing left is for RTMC to say to us, "Apara never blue uniform." That is all that is left because they now have the powers. You give a fine, RTMC, ibis karona. Now we are being inducted, ka issue Arto. It's supposed to take it, but it means now RTMC has actually taken the government over. It's an agency. Popcru cannot be quiet. Popcru cannot keep quiet when an agency takes over a government. And Ropamatso Fikile Mbalula is on TV, or it's a kepe RTMC. When Gaga, I'll belong to the government. Right, comrades. 10 o'clock, comrades. We've got an issue, the tender in a sense, the police station is to renovate to our comrades. We've got a police station in Odendal's race. Sale ema tendera ema kitebe 19 man. Those members, should it happen that one day, anybody comes in that police station and decide to shoot, there is nowhere where members are going to run to. Because the exit door, because of that construction, hauna movement to you. Can we then, as we move forward from the Congress, assist in terms of that leadership? Comrade Chair, on the issue of marketing, comrades, one would agree with the Commission to say, can we extend our medium of marketing leadership? Commission report amane ubuile ka issue ya YouTube. Some of us, comrades, life is cell phone. I don't have Facebook. My life is on YouTube. So why is it that Popcru does not even have that channel? We need that channel, comrades. We need to educate our members on that channel. Induction ya the case, the interviews that day. Some of the cases, we need to see them on that channel, comrades. So that then we tend to become relevant to even those who are being employed currently, because the sad part is because of lack of musebets, the graduates, unfortunately, comrades, are the ones who are becoming police officers, traffic officers, your DCS officers. The graduates, but digital. Ababali newspaper, jolokani. Hababali di buka, obata buka high phone. That is the challenge that we are facing. So we need to extend ourselves, comrades, and go there, those who are coming in. The issue of diaries and calendars. Rekopa, please, Chair, can we resolve that?
Machaven, can you repeat up, please? I'm humbly requesting, because now we are dealing with the grievances now.
The issue, yeah, the diaries and calendars, can we resolve that? The issue, the diary, the calendar, at least October, November, December, latest January, they should be with members. Rekopa leadership, the Congress must resolve on that issue. Okay, the issue here, the resources are the locally, computer, telephones, commission it as induction. Okay, comrades, if you go to page 25, Chairperson, the issue, when you go to page 25, comrades, that one must be highlighted, comrades, that much having had an increase, a good one in membership. Matso, comrades, let us not be jealous. Amandla. And comrades, ask his chairperson.
Machaveng, can you be in order? You are addressing me, not please.
Okay, apologies,
Please,
Chair.
can we be in order, please?
Comrades, we like to thank Machabeng for that work done. In that saying, Chairperson, as Machabeng, we would like to put forward that we as Machabeng pride ourselves in membership representation. As much as t-shirt, but we are doing our level best. But we wish to have the t-shirts, comrades. Comrades, in conclusion, can you go to page 14? Comrades, when you go to page 14, we talk of point 4, state of the province since the 8th Provincial Congress, comrades. And the table there is very clear in terms of the leadership that was elected at the 8th Congress. And then at the bottom, the 4.1, changes in leadership, explains exactly how did it come to be that Comrade Pakiso Mukalapa. The decision came to be Hora Atwe, Kapa Atwe as the chairperson, and Comrade Sandile Piake ended up acting. However, comrades as Machabeng, we would like to note this.
There is a point of order, Machabeng. Now, can I take a point of order, please?
Resolutions that the Commission has presented. And Machabeng is dealing with the report as if it deals with the report of the PEC. Can we kindly resolve where we can resolve? And where we can't resolve, spare those issues. We will engage. We have another 5-year term coming in front of us. We will engage. Here we are drawing a program for the province for the next coming term. That is our humble request, Chair. I'm not stopping Machabeng in assisting the plenary in resolving, but I would like to say to Machabeng, let it not be taken up by the practices of our PECs and PSCs. Here we are drawing a program. Implementation of that program and the nitty-gritties and the nuts and bolts will be dealt with by the PECs. Thank you, Chair.
No, thank you.
No, thank you, Chair. Machabeng, note Pumelel, through you, Chair. So, Chair, as we go on, we go into the resolutions, Chair. As we go on, Chair, when you go to the part that talks of how did Comrade Kilipile Direko utsuile jwang on the structure.
Order, Machabeng, can we be in order? We are still repeating the very same thing that we have been cautioned about, Machabeng, please. Then I have to now to cut to Machabi and then get to the issue.
Can we resolve it?
Machabe, can you take the order, please? Please. Thank you. In terms of the discussions in the plenary, I think the Commission has also taken note on the issue of whereby it was sponsored that instead of donating cars to locals, the Commission should also look into alternative way of either increase the budget of the current allocation of the provincial car, or source another budget for the regions to have the budget, maybe to have more vehicles on the high, I will say, in specified regions. I just wanted to check with the members of the Commission, are you amenable to the sponsor that has been made instead of saying that donating cars, because it might create a problem because of one car per province? Let me just check with the members of the Commission, are you amenable to that particular amendment? Okay, TG.
Plenary and check with the Congress whether they agree with that input instead of a commission, because the commission already have submitted their job.
Okay. No, thanks. So I think now the plenary will note what I've already put forward in terms of the issue of the vehicles. And on the...
Comrade, on this issue of vehicles, I don't think it should be captured in a conference in the manner that either donate or, I think it's about increase the capacity. Increase the capacity in terms of resources of the local, which includes also the vehicles. So I think that will actually help us, because now if we're going to say in the conference how it should be done, then it's wrong. That will be, and that is an administrative matter. So, but to say increase capacity of the resources of the local includes actually the vehicles and so on. But also I want to caution, comrade, that I know that when you are in a conference, the hype is there. But we also need to be careful, because you can't resolve on the matters that we have resolved previously. You see, I've been listening, in fact, in this commission, that most of the things are the things that were resolved even at the national conference, are the things that were resolved previously, which I think they should reiterate such position. So if to those things that are not yet done. For instance, I want to say, comrade, on the issue of the app and all that, if you go to a resolution, those resolutions have been taken a long time ago. In fact, on the issue of app, on the issue of social media, all those issues have been resolved. Recently, we've appointed graphic and design in an organization that deals exactly with with those issues of social media, because without having such a person who will be able to control that, comrade, will be able to monitor, to develop, to monitor, we are not going to be able to do it. So hence we have appointed this person, in fact, mid this month, in fact around the 15th, he was appointed. He's busy actually doing that with the issue of the app. If you go to our website, you will see now changes on our website, because also it's going to manage that. Comrade, I talk about the issue of the marketing. It will also be there. Even when you talk about the issue, comrade, of recruitment, the Popcru form will be there. Even if when we are talking about, currently we're talking about we are installing VPN in the provinces, so that the membership will be fit in the provinces rather than at national level. We are also saying comrade, because issue of 4IR, it's very critical also, that I'm a comrade, and it has been resolved long time ago. Now it's about us to implement, and we're busy implementing that. If we are talking about the issue of case management system, that a member can be able in his gadget to go to to that system of Popcru and register a case, and the case surely will go straight to head office, and head office will be able to engage with the case managers in different provinces, where you find that there are no shop steward, but they are members of Popcru. So these are the things that have been resolved long time ago, and now we're implementing those things. So we can't continue resolving on one and the same thing. But we must, comrade, just to take stock of what have been done and what is not done, what is not yet done, and just reiterate in that position. I think, Chair, in the future we should do it in that manner. Thanks.
No, thank you, TG.
Okay, just to add on what Comrade GS is referring to on issues that we resolved on long time ago. I think one matter, I think if we don't address it now, is going to come as a result of this commission or of this conference, the issue of tools of trade. We resolve on tools of trade, and as we speak today, this is work in progress. I can confirm, standing here, that as we conclude all the congresses, members of the NSS are going to get certain gadgets, which forms part of the tools of trade. And on top of that, there is a feasibility assessment process that is taking place in terms of how to take or to cater for locals in terms of that one. So whether you put it there or not, but already we've resolved on it and we are doing something on it as an addition. Well, if I may, Comrade Chair, comment on the issue of the subscription of Popcru, the workers' life premium. I can also confirm we have observed the disparities that are there in terms of a premium, in terms of a subscription. So we're working on those two things, because we realize that the benefit itself is not talking to a premium or a subscription. So those things we are working on. So if I can just confirm in advance that we are working on those things. Maybe in terms of tools of trade, because we have been talking about training, we need to address the issue of digital divide, because we may provide those gadgets only to find they may not be utilized optimally. So what I'll stand for is to ensure that people are trained to use them. So we're in the process of procuring those things, Comrade. Thank you.
No, thank you, TG.
Comrade, I think President was saying he had an intention to renege from the nationalization of traffic, because I think the Congress will capture it very wrong if we're saying that. I think in nationalization of traffic, Comrade, if all of you agree, it's a matter that has been discussed for quite a long time, engaged with the Department of Transport, but because of the changing of the ministers in that department, has actually hindered us to continue pursuing such a debate at the level of the ministerial level, because it's an issue that is very important to us as an organization. But you must know, Comrade, that also we're against any agentification of any department. At no stage where as Popcru are going to support that a particular department should be led by an agent. We have raised it. We have resolved long time ago agentification and modification of also of the department. We cannot allow that commodification of anything in the department. We're against that, and it should be clear here. But what we said, we said, Comrade, because we've got an RTMC at the national level. We said we want to use RTMC as a vehicle towards the nationalization, because it's an agency that is working at the national level. And remember, at a particular time, we said we want to improve the salaries so that when then all those traffic officers that are falling within the scope of the provinces, when we move them to RTMC, then they are going to benefit in terms of the salaries and the benefits of the RTMC. But we wanted to say, once they are part of the RTMC, then everything is going to change. It's no longer going to be an RTMC. It will be Department of Transport, National Traffic Department. So which clearly indicate, it's not that we want to say, we said we are going to use RTMC as a vehicle towards the nationalization. But we have never said we want to retain RTMC as an agency, because in any way, you can't just say we're going to nationalize, everything will change now. We said all the provincial departments of traffic must be absorbed at RTMC. Then once you have done that, you've got one national traffic department. And therefore, that is when you can begin to say, then you can't be an agency that is run by the CEO and this one and this one. Then we're taking, now we move and say, who should lead that? Should be led by the minister. It should be actually the component of the Department of Transport within actually the Department of Transport, led actually by the Minister of Transport. That is how, comrade, we have approached the issue of nationalization. But what the President have raised here yesterday, comrade, it's a realignment and synergizing in terms of the criminal justice system to say, we no longer, comrade, want this department to operate in silos, all the law enforcement departments. We want one criminal justice system that will have one minister. And that minister, we're going to have deputies. Deputy that will deal with the issue of traffic. We've got deputy that will deal with the issue of correctional services. We've got a deputy that will deal with the issue of SAPS. Then we say at the end of the day, not only looking at that, and also look at other law enforcement department and agencies that are there to fall under the scope of criminal justice system, under one ministry. And also all the resources that are used there be put together, so that at the end of the day, we can be able to manage or to monitor the performance of the criminal justice system as a whole, other than to monitor individual, which is very cumbersome, and also which is not fair, because the resources that are given are not actually sufficient. You find also that they are operating in that side, and this one are operating, they've got their own policies, and all that. So that is why, comrade, I'm saying, it's not that we have reneged from the agreement of nationalization. I want actually this Congress to be very clear, comrade. Thank you very much.
No, thank you, GS, with the broader explanation together with the TG. In trying to summarize the inputs is that a program of action must be implemented, and it will be dealt administratively by the leadership in terms of the challenges in the departments that we are having the challenges in your traffic, in terms of the securities and the likes, in SAPS and DCS. That particular program of action, it will be dealt administratively by the leadership to make sure that our voices as the organization is heard in the province. And further also talk about the issue of the capacitation of the shop stewards at the institutional level. They are training either at informally or formally. It should be a continuous processes so that it can able to address the shortcomings that we identified as the plenary in terms of their capacitation in terms of improving the skills for better service of our members. And also reaffirm the previous resolution of dealing with the issue of the removal of the regional commissioner of DCS, Memudli. It's a reaffirmed one, and the leadership that will come will also have to deal with that particular aspect and holistically deal with the issues that pertains to the challenges that emanates from the Department of Police, Roads and Transport, specifically on traffic, on the issues that has been already raised. And also this one under a bargain, which I believe that it will also, as a resolution, the issue of the dress code and the issue of uniform policy that has to be revisited so that it can be accommodative to the current situation that we are finding ourselves in. And also as the province, we also reaffirm the resolution that was taken that of T-shirts for our members. So those are the issues that as the plenary we have added on the work that has already been done by the commission, on the resolutions that have already been made. And there are quite a number of the resolutions that have been submitted by the commission, and some of the resolutions are the resolutions that a further explanation was given by the GSNTG in terms of it's a work in progress. So we have to note that as the plenary. Can I get the indication from the plenary in terms of the summary of your discussion? The guest and Pumelela and Machabe. Can we assist with the mic, please?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I just wanted to say to have a resolution at least more summarized than to specify in pieces what was raised by the GS and the TG. To say, because as a Congress, we cannot resolve over National Congress resolution, which are in progress till the next Congress. Instead, we are put to say, we reaffirm all the 2019 National Congress resolution as Free State Province, then resolve separately on the Provincial Congress resolution. Thank you.
No, thank you. Pumelela.
Thank you, Chair. As Pumelela, we would like to move for acceptance of the summary as the true reflection of what has been discussed in the plenary today. Thank you.
Can you indicate with the addition that reaffirming the resolutions that were taken at the National Congress?
Yes, Chair.
No, thank you. Machabe.
Machabe rise to actually put second, Pumelela.
No, thank you. Thanks, Commission. Can we now, because we have dealt with 3 commissions, Commission 1 and Commission 2 and Commission 3, with their resolutions that has been taken, can now call the Congress to formally move all the resolutions that have been taken in this Congress. Setoto, Mitsimaholo,
ho kenyeletsa le ditlhahiso tlohle tse re se re di fumane. Ke a leboha.
Thank you. Metsimaholo.
Oh, thank you very much. Ne ke re ke second Soto, hoduma position e re ka tongwebe. Ga leboha.
Okay. No, thank you. That means now the Congress resolutions has been moved by Setsoto and seconded by Metsimaholo. Now we'll move to the next item on the program, which is the Congress declarations. Okay. Okay, can we just have a revolutionary song?
Oliver Tambo, Mayoiga, Oliver Tambo, William, Oliver Tambo, Oliver Tambo. Oliver Tambo, Oliver Tambo, Mandla, viva Popcru, viva Mandla. Comrades, thank you very much. Must appreciate that comrades have done a good work in the commissions, comrade, because it's important. In fact, that's the primary task of the conference at Popcru. The resolutions, comrade, of the conference. Because otherwise, in other formations, you find that people spend more time loping the whole night. When you go actually to the quality of work that is done in the commissions, you find that there is nothing. So you come to a conference just to elect leadership. So to this organization, comrade, issue of leadership is a secondary task. When we have actually taken their decisions, that we say when we elect this leadership, at least we have a mandate that this leadership that is going to be elected here will be able to run with for the next coming years up until the conference. So it's very important, other than to elect the leadership here, comrade, and find that they don't have any mandate. And then that is why you'll find that leadership is in squabbles, because they don't have work to do. They will end up actually fighting one another. So I must thank you, comrade. It is very clear that comrades were very committed and they want to see this organization, comrade, growing higher and higher. So we must thank you, comrade, for such a good work. I want to comrade Madlala, comrade TJ, because I know now that most of the comrades that are here, they did not get politics on the ground like you. Now we are organic. They have learned it at school. That is called political science. And our understanding was that, comrade, this alliance is led by the ANC, but it's driven by the Communist Party. This alliance is led by the ANC, but it's driven by the Communist Party. So what does that mean if then, comrade, there is a paralysis in some of the component of the alliance? Then the Communist Party should blame itself also. That means that it did not play its role of driving the alliance. So that is why I'm saying, Tina comrade, because it's Mkwaqeni, you see. But those who have learned it at school in political science, they won't agree with me on what I'm saying. But what I know is that Communist Party is driving this alliance, therefore ANC is leading. So if then, comrade, Communist Party was really driving, would not be in this crisis. So that means someone have abdicated his responsibility to drive this alliance. So I just want to say that, comrade. But I know that it's getting late. Want to say, comrade, because yesterday we had Kdbs who came here and outlined the processes of the elections in this organization, election, comrade. It's important that now we are going to call them to ascend to the stage, but comrade, we are going to dissolve this structure formally to say, comrade, they can go back to their constituency. For now. Comrade must go back to their constituency, and then Kdbs will tell us, comrade, that how did we nominate as an organization? How have we nominated actually the leadership? But I just want to say, comrade, here, it is important that unanimously, comrade have agreed that this is the leadership. And then our expectation is that comrades are expected, comrade, to support the leadership that will emerge here to lead this organization to the next conference. That is very important. Gone are the days where we used to elect leadership. Gone are the days, comrade, where you used to elect leadership, and also after that you play a role of ensuring that those comrades, they fail. Yeah, you put obstacles for this leadership to lead the organization successfully. Gone are those days, comrade. Because there are those comrades who want to elect leadership, and then once the leadership is elected, they put obstacles for that leadership, in fact, to lead successfully. So here at Popcru, comrade, we don't do that. We give a necessary support because we know very well that this leadership, comrade, can't lead alone, but will lead because we are there to support them. So I want to say, comrade, as we are going to have the leadership, as Kdbs is ascending to the stage, you can come, comrade. Surely all of us will support the leadership, because this leadership that will emerge here is the product of this conference. So it is important that all of us, we own this leadership and we support this leadership. When we come to this province, we see unity. I think that is important. Let me give it to you. Thanks.
Mshiniwa, mwe baba. Mshiniwa, mwe baba. Oh, indlela esihambayo. Oh, indlela esihambayo. Oh, comrade.
Thank you. Thank you, comrades. Thank you. Let me again once more pass our salutations to the Congress as Kdbs, and also take this opportunity to congratulate the office bearers that have been elected and wish them all well. As we stated yesterday that the officials have been elected or nominated unopposed, I am going to start with the chairperson. According to the nominations of Popcru Free State, the person who was nominated unopposed to be the chairperson of the province is Thabo Lefalatsa. Let me see chairperson hello Naba.
In the land.
Thank you. We now move to the next, being the Deputy Provincial Chairperson as nominated, unopposed as well. And the Deputy Chairperson of Popcru Free State is Sandile Piake.
Allah. Umamena, 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 umamena. Tumamena, 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 tumamena.
Thank you. Moving on to the position of the Provincial Secretary, equally nominated and elected unopposed, is Amelia Chakele Mahlatsi. Thank you, thank you. The Deputy Provincial Secretary, also elected unopposed in the province of Free State, is Pibo Motwani.
ayo. Bala.
Thank you. The last position, thank you, comrades. Thank you, comrades. The last position, as per the POB structure of Popcru, the treasurer of the Free State Province is Mpomashani.
Pokuya itamaela, palama, palama terene, palama terene, palama terene, palama terene, palama terene, palama terene, pokuya itamaela. Palama terene, palama terene, palama terene. Palama terene, palama terene, okuya itamaela, di ferile, di ferile, okuya itamaela, palama.
Thank you, comrade. Lastly, I have the message from the CEO of Kdbs, Mr. Tobile Thomas. He would like to say thank you to Popcru National and Provincial for entrusting us with the responsibility to deliver your members, to your members. They are unopposed provincial office bearers. And on behalf of him, we say thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Our job is done and we'll be leaving.
Thank you very much. Thanks, KDBS. Comrade, I want to take this opportunity to thank the work, KDBS actually, for the work that they've done. This is a 9th province. We're only left with 1 province. We want to conclude very soon, comrade. It is tiring to be in these conferences, engaging with the comrade in different structures before you come to these conferences. Mangaung. So it's not easy, it's a cumbersome work. But at the same time, comrade, we must thank you because we would not be where we are without, in fact, yourselves. But we want to thank you, comrade, to understand that what is important in an organization. Because if you don't know what is important in an organization, you will not be where we are today. But because you put the organization first, as I have said, comrade, earlier on, that we don't want any speed trap. We know there are traffic cops here, traffic officers. We don't elect leadership and put speed traps and say, I know, we know that so and so is going to fail. No, you give support to the leadership. It's very important, comrade. But I just want to call Comrade Ritz. Can you come forward, comrade? So, comrade, this is a comrade that have been part of the leadership here in Free State for quite a long time. I know that other comrade used to say, comrade, stay long in the structures. I wish, comrade, I would have invited you in the Congress of WAFTU that we had here in Durban. This year in May will be in Italy, in the conference of WAFTU. You will see the leadership of the trade unions there. That in reality, when we are saying people are old in an organization, and say you can't be led by old people with the experience that they've gained, comrade, with the brains and also the wisdom that they unleash for this organization to survive. You find that it's easy just to say, these people are old, they can't lead us. So you want to throw those people in the dustbin. You don't do that, comrade. Because you will realize that all these people that are old today, they came here young. They grow within the structures of the organization up until where they are. So we are still, comrade, milking from their wisdom some of the things that we do that make actually this organization to grow, comrade, in leaps and bounds. I just want to thank the contribution that has been made by this comrade. Comrade, I know that it's not nice, comrade, to be out of this conference, but because of nature, that is taking its course, that comrade will go to a pension at any time soon. But she has served this organization par excellence. She contributed immensely, comrade, for the growth of this organization. She has indeed made an indelible mark to this organization. And I've got no doubt that the leadership of this organization will honor this comrade for his contribution to this organization. I know some of the comrades that are here are young. They don't know the journey that we have traversed. But I want to say, comrade, because she is one of the disciplined comrades of this province. That is why she has led this organization up until to this stage. I want to say to this leadership, I hope, comrade, will be invited in one of the PC when we will be able to honor. Now I'm giving an instruction. It's not an instruction, in fact, Mangau. That's democratic centralism. Yeah, democratic centralism. When an upper structure have taken a decision, then the lower structure must, injalo comrade. That is democratic centralism, but it's taken by the structure. Then the lower structure must implement. So, and accept that particular decision. So that is why, comrade, want to say, we thank you very much, comrade. We know that you'll tell them at home that we said, we thank them, comrade, to release you. Comrade, you know, in this journey is not easy. Some of the comrade have lost their loved ones, while, comrade, they are advancing the struggle of the workers. It's not easy, more especially to the females, comrade. When you lead, some of the husbands decide that, no, I can't have a wife who's going to conferences. So it's not just a commitment, but it's a serious commitment, because you have to choose. Whether you choose that husband, or you choose that life partner, or you choose the struggle of the workers. It's not an easy thing. We know quite a number of comrades that were willing, in fact, to serve, but they've chosen a particular path to say, no, I can't lose my family. I would rather lose the organization. They are not with us today. But we must thank this comrade, because also, comrade, besides that, when we are a female, while we are coming from here, we are expected also to take care of the family. After coming from a very strenuous meeting of the workers, but we are expected to put pots on the stove, we are expected to take care of the kids, we have to support the kids to make homework, and all those things. But our comrades, really comrades, comrades of comrades rich caliber, they were able, comrade, to do that. We just want to appreciate, comrade, for the work sterling work that we've done to an organization, and say it's not an easy thing, more especially to our female comrades. That is why at all times, comrade, we said the leadership, if you are working with the female, you must give support to them. in your structures, in your locals, in the structures in the institution. Because those comrades, they are really committed to be part of those structures. So I want to say, comrade, thank you. Thank to the family. As the leadership will come here, we will say, but I know that we are going to just say one word to this conference. It will be wrong for me not to give you a platform, because you'll never get this platform to address a conference anymore, but you'll be invited to the conferences of the organization for the work that you have done for this organization. Let me give it to you, comrade. Thanks.
Thank you, GS. Amandla. Amandla. Thank you once more, GS. Comrades, I've been the provincial treasurer of Popcru for the past 15 years. It was not easy. It was not easy. GS just reminded me something. In 2018, while I was in Chaba, we were preparing for May Day. On the 1st of May, I received a call that my sister passed away. I came to the activity knowing that my sister is sick, but I chose to be a leader and go and canvass for May Day. Comrades, once you become a leader, you lose yourself. You become what the organization wants you to be. And comrade, leading is not about you. It's about the organization. Thank you, GS.
Asoze ndilibale oh itubalam lembandeze asoze ndilibale oh itubalam lembandeze oh itubalam oh itubalam lembandeze itubalam
Mandla. I think it's a lesson learned, comrade, that if you choose the revolution, you cease to be yourself. Comrade has said that. If you choose a revolution, you cease to be yourself. So then, you know, you become an instrument that will be used. You know? And when you choose, comrade, to lead this revolution, you must know also you choose to be abused. You choose to be abused and be insulted each and every day by the very same workers that you are serving. That means you develop a thick skin. So, if you choose this revolution, it's not easy, comrade. So I'm saying it to you, even at your level where we are leading, that you must expect such. And you must prepare to die a pauper in this revolution. You are overworked, but at the same time there's no money. So you must be ready to die a pauper. But if you think that, comrade, you want to make money, you must decide just to take another route. Because here, I'm telling you, if you choose a road of becoming a shop steward, you must be prepared to die a pauper. And you must be prepared to be abused by the very same membership that you are expected to service. So that you must know that the path that you have taken, comrade, the path that you have taken, these are the things that you are going to confront on the way. So we thank you very much, comrade, and we hope that we're still going to see quite a number of comrades that are going to be produced by Free State. You could see, and as actually the deployees to this conference by the National Executive Committee will report as such that indeed this conference, comrade, was a successful conference. But I know that we are still going to have a declaration for the conference. But I must thank all of you, comrades, for also the discipline that you have displayed in this conference. We did not see people, comrade, because I'm not sure whether because this conference, because of the environment where we're in, that this environment, comrade, where this conference is held, it might have also contributed that, comrade, to be disciplined. Because I know that in other conferences, not of Popcru, you start very well with the comrade sober, but in the afternoon you could see that I, comrade, have enjoyed the social lubricants. So, but it's good here that we see sober comrades in this conference until the end of the conference. I can attest that no one, comrade, have sipped the revolutionary waters. So, with those words, comrade, I want to thank you. Can I give it back to the chair to call the secretary for the declaration? Thank you. Thank you very much. Amandla, away too.
Amandla. No, thank you. Let me call upon the provincial, the newly elected provincial secretary to present the Free State 9th Provincial Congress declarations.
Amandla. Amandla. Hi, hule, Popcru, hi, hule. Comrades. Thank you very much. We are just going to go through the declaration of Popcru Free State, non-provincial Congress, under the following theme: 32 years of working class consciousness, defending workers' rights, and building a self-sustainable union. We delegate from 10 locals representing more than 11,836 members from institutions within the South African Police Service, the Department of Correctional Service and Traffic, all policing and the entire criminal justice cluster met over the past 3 years at Imvelo Lodge in Mangaung. We met at a time wherein we took note of the adverse impact caused on our membership due to natural attrition, retirement, the impact of COVID-19 pandemic, a severance package by the government aimed at reducing the public service. Popcru Free State Congress was convened to take stock of the work of the union in the province since our 8th Provincial Congress, and was held under the following theme: working class consciousness, defending workers' rights and building self-sustainable union. This exercise, comrades, has indeed been a parliament of workers, both in content and character, and has given a broader direction covering organizational, political, international, socio-economic, bargaining, educational, and policy within the union and within the broader society at large. This Congress also included giving effect to the aim and objective of the union and assume such powers as necessity by our constitution. The Provincial Congress had a task to fill its own constitutional mandate in the interest of the organization and its members. The Police and Prison Civil Rights Union, Popcru in Free State, held a successful Congress amid the COVID-19 pandemic period, which was devastated the world economy, including tourism industry, sports and education throughout the world. We pay homage to many of fellow citizens who perished during the pandemic. We are hopeful that it is ultimate and will usher in the new era of development, progress, prosperity, and peace in our country and beyond. With a provincial population of 588,000, the Free State Province has now the second high unemployed rate after the Eastern Cape. It has been the potential to create more jobs opportunities for people of the province, and local government could deliver basic services such as providing reliable electricity and water, ensuring safe roads network, riding the province of drugs peddlers who deal with our youth and show commitment to fighting other crimes. It is the rest of our shoulder as members within the criminal justice cluster to intensify our work with all stakeholders in taking up this issue all across our communities. We have noted recent statistics released by Statistics South Africa, which indicate massive employment figures. We are particularly disturbed by the statistics of youth unemployment, which are shocking, more especially even in our province. We call for aggressive direct intervention in all key sectors of the economy for massive industrialization and beneficiation of certain commodities as a way of growing the economy and boosting job creation. We met at a time when our movement has just suffered humiliating defeat at the November 2021 local government election. It was also for the first time that we registered an average percentage below 50% since 1994. Most of the causes for this situation are subjective, weakness within the movement itself, as well as general discontent occasioned by rampant corruption and within the state machinery. Accordingly, we recommit ourselves to continue to fight the new tendencies that have been accumulated in the movement: ill-discipline, self-enrichment, functionalism, dishonesty, corruption, patronage, and arrogance. Congress took firm cognizance of the regrettable but overreaching contest in agitating for a non-negotiable and principled involvement in the renewal of the African National Congress as the leader of alliance and society. Popcru is guided by this conviction in striving and pushing for a powerful, purposeful, and reconfigured alliance as a matter of extreme urgency. We rededicate ourselves to continue fighting gender-based violence in particular, and corruption and crime as general as hunger most of our people. And Congress called for swift action by all relevant authorities to ensure that all persons implicated in corruption activity are brought to books without undue delay. The Congress convened at the amid of Russia's ongoing military operation in Ukraine and the imperialistic NATO aggression in respect of the complex issues of the Ukraine. Whilst we call for an end to the war, it is evidently affecting everyone, including the working class. innocent women and children. We equally understand the rationale behind Russia's decision to defend it against US-led expansionism. In the same light, the Western media and the governments should act consistently and apply the same condemnation measures as it relates to the situation of apartheid Israel continues to subject Palestinians. We take this opportunity to enhance our commitment to international solidarity with the progressive people of the world suffering from dictatorship, neo-colonialism, and imperialism. We continue to pledge our solidarity with the people of Venezuela, Eswatini, Western Sahara, Palestine, South Sudan, and East Timor. We rededicate ourselves to the struggle against all forms of patriarchy and gender equality in our province, our country, and the world. We recommit ourselves to continue to expose, crush all forms of equal relations in our society. The Provincial Congress paid the tribute to all fallen heroes and heroines and millions of others across the world who have perished as a result of the pandemic and those who have died in line of duty. Among some of the key leaders have since passed on, we are reflecting this name of Comrade Pakiso Mokalapa, Comrade Mafukisi, Comrade Mipone, and other many more leaders of our movement. Also, in addressing the Provincial Congress, Comrades Mzwandile Tlakudu on behalf of ANC, Comrade Pel Pakisi on behalf of SACP Central Committee, Vice Mahlatsi on behalf of COSATU. We are empowered by their representation, particularly on issue of dealing with police killings, empowering the police to deal with criminality, and common call for a structure in our province to work to unite the alliance and the broader community. We commit to fight side by side with the progressive force of our society to rid our province all forms of criminality. We were further addressed by the departments which we organize, and we commit engaging them to better conditions of our members. The Congress received the keynote address from the President of the organization, Comrade Dr. Sizamele Kebekulu, who amongst others dealt with the urgent need for the real transformation and restructuring in the police order in order to deal with the scourge of crime. He further emphasized the need for coordination of the work in the department, in the criminal justice cluster, not the current situation where they work in silos. He called for the need to revisit the location of correctional centers. We are calling for those centers to located in rural area for the utilization of prison labor towards contributing to the rural development of our land. He emphasized the need to build self-sufficient Department of Correctional Service. He decried the budget cuts that are not informed by challenges that we face as police men and women. These budget cuts are done while we face criminal manpower shortage that hampers the police crime fighting capabilities. Indeed, this Congress, we echo what the President has said, that as a worker, we are on our own. This is a line of march. We commit to take it to the street to fight for our rights as police officials, warders, traffic officers. We have not been paid what is due to us, and we try endless negotiations. Delegation to the Congress commit to mobilize all workers to fight for our salary improvement and the cost of living keeping rising. The increase in gender-based violence is a new pandemic and is devastating our society and increasing responsibility of our members to be vigilant and professional in dealing with such cases. The Provincial Congress, as they provided us with an opportunity to engage on matters that affect us as workers, further chartered a way forward in ensuring that good relationships are forged with all the departments. We are fully aware of the current challenges within the departments, but we never be discouraged by such. We'll continue to build healthy relations with the prime aim at ensuring that Popcru members indeed remain our priority and their interests are always rightfully represented. The Provincial Congress provided the necessary measures as a sign of democratic culture within the organization, building unity and cohesion. We further had an opportunity to voice out our members' grievances for decent job, employment protection against the floating of agreement by the employer. This is a direct attack on collective bargaining. We commit to do all we can to defend these workers' gain, which will not come easy. The expansion of the information economy places a new challenge on trade unions in general to put in new places methods of organizing. Popcru members must be capacitated to fight. There must be a balance between worker and the broader society, economic and political issues as they continue to impact our life indirectly, regard political education of our own members. The Provincial Congress took time to debate extensively the organizational challenges matter, including the issue of leadership. We further resolve and declare thus that there must be one law that regulates members of the police, which must be the Police Act. Those employed under Public Service Act must be translated to Police Act so that a synergy and resource allocation at the police station level. There must be the capacity in fighting crime by releasing many of those who have been removed from operational to join the fight against crime. The police structure is particularly top-heavy, and there's a serious shortage of the tools and the trades which make our work very difficult in crime. Restructuring of the police force to be able to make a lean head office and resource of the Hawks to that work adequately. The decrease in membership is a worrying development, and the Provincial Congress called on every Popcru member and the structure to embark on aggressive recruitment campaign to put Popcru back where it belongs and the preferred union in the sector. This will also strengthen a financial capacity to be able to implement many programs that may be assigned to ourselves. We need to consider and reconsider restructuring of our collective bargaining approach in terms of members' interest, improve of their bargaining interest, improve of their working conditions, failure of the employer to implement wage agreement has demoralized our members. COSATU must engage to lobby the ANC to review this bad decision. Popcru support the COSATU-led campaigns and will intensively solidarity campaign in support of progressive struggle across the world, specifically our neighboring countries. The Provincial Congress further dealt with the issue of the leadership and accordingly and constitutionally elected those comrades that has been elected. Thank you very much, comrades. Amandla.
No, thank you, PS. Can we now invite the Congress to officially adopt the Congress resolutions as presented by the Provincial Secretary? Setsoto. Kopanung and Litziming.
Thank you, Chair. Soto would like to welcome the presentation regarding the resolution and would like to accept and adopt as such. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. We as Kopanung would like to second Setsoto.
Okay. No, thank you, Kopanung. Let's say you are covered. It now brings to the finality Let me hand over to the newly elected provincial chairperson, Comrade Ilfalatsa, to do the honors.
Obatina Sobaba. Obatina Sobaba. 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 Ayashisa lomzabalazo. Obatina Sobaba. Uzejweni kosatu impimpi yashis. Umkashi uyanqanqase ayashisa lomzabala obathi sobaba uzejweni kosathu
Amandla awethu matla kya rona unity we Free State ixesha unity we Free State ixesha Phakama we Free State ixesha Phakama we State ixesha unity we Free State ixesha unity we Free State ixesha Phakama we Free State ixesha Phakama we Free State ixesha unity we Free State ixesha unity we Free State ixesha Phakama we Free State ixesha Phakama we Free State ixesha unity we Free State ixesha unity we Free State ixesha Amandla awethu matla kya rona matimba aina viva Popcru viva Popcru viva Amandla awethu viva Khosatu viva Khosatu viva Amandla awethu Viva SACP, viva. Amandla, awethu. Viva ANC, viva. Amandla, awethu. No, thank you very much, comrades. Program Director, the newly elected Deputy Provincial Chair, Comrade Sandile Piake, members of the National Office Bearers, as well as NEC members present here, Alliance members in absentia, POB collectives, as well as PC members, former leaders of this great movement called Popcru, Provincial Coordinator of Safer South African Foundation, Congress delegates. Comrades, we met here for the past 3 days discussing the future of this particular province and the organization entirely. We further made an assessment and considered reports of activities of the work conducted by the locals as well as Provincial Executive Committee and POB's collective comrades. Most importantly, comrades, I would want to say, I don't want to bore you with a long closing remarks, but I would want us to take these most fundamental principles home. All of us as leadership, starting from the table, including all delegates, Congress delegates. And that message is that the most important thing, comrades, that we have agreed upon here is that the unity, cohesion, as well as the discipline of these members of this organization, it has been the lifeblood of this organization for its entire existence, and it has sustained it up until now. It is upon each and every one of us to ensure that we maintain that unity, cohesion, as well as discipline that has sustained this organization till where it is today. It's upon all of us, comrades, to ensure that we keep this organization intact, working together with all of yourself in ensuring that we give professional services to our members out there. I call upon yourselves, comrades, to say, let's go back to our respective institutions and communicate decisions of this particular structure, as well as undertaking and progress that we are making in ensuring that we improve the working conditions from the respective institutions where we are coming from, comrades. With those few words, I would want to say the Congress is officially closed. Thank you very much. Can we just allow the Provincial Secretary to make a few announcements?
Amandla, comrades, very quick. I'm afraid we're planning to start at 7 o'clock for our gala dinner, but I think we'll maybe start 8:30. Other thing, comrades, remember the arrangement that we have done on our arrival in terms of saying all of us, let's leave here tomorrow morning. Even those that are coming from Mangaung. But TG, because the night of today is not paid off, we only negotiated for those that are staying far because we don't want our comrades to travel after the gala dinner. So we are pleading with those comrades that are in the rooms to accommodate Mangaung just to take a shower because their rooms has been taken. It's only, no other people, they will have accommodation. People around here, they are the only one that has been affected. But it's not a strange match. We had a mutual understanding that they will be assisted by other comrades. So comrades, we are pleading with those comrades. We know that some of you are sleeping in room only one. Try to accommodate some of the ladies. Gentlemen, try to accommodate some of the gentlemen. we know that it's not all the rooms that has been affected. So comrades, let's try to work together, but by 8:30, let's all of us be here to do the last celebration of our 9th Provincial Congress. Thank you very much, comrades. Further announcement will be done as when we are busy dealing with our gala. Including our guests, the message is also going to our guests. As I robale le bona ke re ha di tse di feta di tray mo. Le di bona ke re GSN a kana lo robala ke re le tija lo robala rona a re robala.